Oh, man. Libations Friday is fun, and we're going to have fun. So here you go. And I don't have an Irish hat on today, guys. We're good. You ready for a home game, night game?
Was that like a trash can in front of a hockey goal? I used to play that game.
What, this?
Yeah, that logo.
Oh, no. It's my standard.
No, it just reminds me of being in the street. And like, you put the...
Which
my dad's like, I'm not playing goalie again.
Either way.
I'm not doing it. Go get one of the cans.
We used to play a form of baseball in our garage from the bottom of the driveway into the garage. Good times. Many a washer or dryer took a beating. We're going to know today about Hykeem Williams. We'll find out if he's committing to Florida State or not. That is going to take place in the 2 o'clock hour. Tom, what time is that? 2:30? We're going to find that out?
Roughly 2:30.
Thereabouts?
Yes. Yep.
All right, so we can react with you guys when the news comes down, good or bad, for Florida State at that point. My mom will be on in that hour. We'll make our bets. I can tell you, Tom, we split again last week, but already yours truly is now one game ahead as I had Cleveland last night, and she took the Steelers.
Oh, really?
Dropped the ball early there. I said, she said to me this morning, she goes, are we live at the normal time? And I'm talking to her, and she goes, well, how the Steelers continue to roll out that quarterback. Well, why'd you pick him? It's not like you didn't know Mitch Trubisky sucks. Mom, get with the program.
So mom is now on team Kenny Pickett.
She says the need not waste any more time. Let's get Pickett out there. I was like, well, I think it's gonna be a long year in Pittsburgh regardless, but yeah.
Well, if she dropped the ball, then she's the opposite of George Pickens. That was a nice play. He only had 3 catches for 30-some yards, but one of them was very memorable.
Yeah, that's a catch. That's a toughie. And then in terms of difficulty, I mean it literally, not the sarcastic, that's a toughie. That was just a hell of a catch. That was fun to watch, too. I was so happy football was on last night. I'm still in the early stages of football season in my mind where it's not, you haven't been overly gluttonous. You want all the football. So I had the Steelers on with the Browns, and I also had West Virginia and Virginia Tech on.
Man, I can't believe I didn't jump on that. Tech was a 2.5-point favorite.
They're terrible.
I know. I don't know why I didn't play it. That's my fault.
Because you weren't going to sit around and say, I really trust West Virginia's sorry ass.
But I'd seen enough of them when we went to Biloxi and watched them play Pitt that they're better than Virginia Tech. I mean, because they're below average. They're not awful. They're below average, which makes them better. Oh, well.
Yeah, those two teams are garbage, which is fine. You're going to get that oftentimes on a Thursday night matchup. You could have just flipped on over to the President's Cup, which was the other thing I was watching, as the United States gets out to the great start that we predicted they would. That's very exciting. Took it to them yesterday. The Internationals won none of this.
Lots of drama with the President's Cup this weekend.
It's good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. Day 2 today, Tom. You still got time. It's full 4 days. Yeah. You still got ample time to get in there, buddy.
I will say, since the Corner Pocket has 50 televisions, I'm sure it'll be on one of them, and I'm sure my eyes will be drawn to the President's Cup this afternoon because there's really nothing else going.
There you are, Preston. Good job. Little boom. Yeah. And then watched whatever else that other. Oh, I won with Coastal Carolina last night. So there we go, Coastal Carolina. That is what you do right there. That seemed like an easy one, and I jumped on it. Pleased about that.
And we get the Orange and Navy Supreme matchup tonight, which is Syracuse, Virginia. It's a Friday night ACC game. You know what? I'm getting more used to these Friday night games. I don't like when we play them. But I like when there are teams that I've heard of that play on Friday nights rather than Thursdays.
Yeah,
I'm
fine with that.
A little happy hour and then football, that's nice.
Well, yeah, you're right about that because what we have tomorrow is a long day. And tonight can be a nice and easy, like you said, a little happy hour followed by some Friday night football.
It could be nice and easy. This one's a nice and easy Friday. Noon kicks wouldn't be.
No, you couldn't. You have to keep it together.
And last year with the 9 a.m. pregame show, couldn't be. But now, 5 p.m., Hotel Indigo, nice and easy on a Friday night.
Come on out and visit, if you will. Vishal, you badass. Thank you. Woo! Man just got off a ship in the Bahamas and is driving up to Tallahassee. Nice. Woo! He's in a good mood. So the games tonight, like you're saying, we're gonna have a good time, and it begins at 5:30. Myself, Corey Clark, we'll be there at 5:30 doing what we do. for home Saturdays. It's just been forever since it's been a home Saturday.
Yeah, a month.
It does feel like a way too long.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a team people want to see, as evidenced by the announcement earlier today that Florida State Boston College is, in fact, a sellout.
There you go. Good job, fans.
There you go, yeah. And you know what? They're going to win this game. And when they do, they'll be 4-0, Tom. And at 4-0, they're guaranteeing get another sellout the next game.
Hey, on Saturday,
right?
They're going to play this game. They're most likely going to win this game. And then they're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Florida man is asking me a question that I got to get to in a moment. Seth writes, "Happy Friday, fellas. Fellas hoping for a big game this week and the type of win that could build confidence going into the tough stretch. Good Noles." I think so, Seth. I think so. I feel good about the game. I do. And I think they'll play. More importantly, I think they'll play well. That's what I want to see. It may be a bit of a slog because the play calling won't be dynamic. Doesn't need to be this week.
But if it goes the way we think it's going to go, and that is a decided Florida State victory, not necessarily a 40-point blowout or anything like that, then it gets fun because you can watch some position battles, most notably at corner. Who's battling for those next reps? Mike was asked about that, Coach Norvell, on Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And he listed names of guys that were competing. And the first name he listed was Azarie Thomas. And I thought, okay, all right.
He said he's competing.
It would be he and Feaster. Yes, but I mean, this means to me that the rotation should open up a little bit if it's a comfortable enough win. And then if you could put something on film, maybe you're the first guy off the bench. Because quietly, Greedy Vance was a solid player for us last Friday. I still against better opponents would like more options.
It wasn't quietly, because on the wildly popular Jeff Cameron show, the host said Greedy Vance played well last week, everybody. He did. Because why did I bring it up? Oh, I was shocked. Because I didn't think he could. But now listen, that was very limited. He wasn't in a lot. But when he was in, he played well.
Yeah.
And you do need to find somebody opposite Renardo Green. I mean, period.
Better than 7. He played better than 7.
Mm-hmm.
Cue Ryan's comment in the chat. It's his favorite player.
Z-Chan! Doctor!
Holy Jesus.
People are in a good mood. Libations Friday has started early for many, apparently. That is awfully kind, Doctor. Score prediction time, 42-17. Great quarterback play. 2 forced fumbles lead the Noles to the most decisive victory yet. Can't wait to be inside a packed Doak. Well, come on, baby.
42-17 doesn't sound outlandish. Doesn't sound crazy.
No, it could happen. It could happen. I don't know. Where are we? I've done a decent job of predicting these games. We've had, in terms of score, and you know, I picked LSU to beat us, but I was almost right on the score, and I'm glad Florida State won that game. Obviously mentioned that there was no reason for people to fret over Duquesne, that it wouldn't be a matchup. It wasn't. And then last week, we talked about winning a close one up there at Louisville, and I was right about, unfortunately, Cunningham being the focal point of what they were going to do.
I'll be a broken record, but to have Daniels and Cunningham in the rear view is just a huge deal.
It is. I feel very. You're going to see a pretty stationary target this week behind a sieve of an offensive line. That should, and I'll bring this up now because I'm not going to make any assumptions. That should spell a long evening for Jerkovich. I feel like we ought to. I mean, that guy's he's going to be sore. He's going to need to hit the ice tub. I feel like we ought to get to him 4 or 5 times.
He had to last year in this game. And they had a much better offense in terms of personnel and depth of offensive line and all that. Now, remember, last year, we'll see who the referees are this week, but they better not be Gary Patterson and his ragtag crew, because that game was only close because of one crew. It wasn't special teams, offense, or defense. It was the ACC officials.
Well, that infuriated me several times last year, and we did have some of those conversations. I'm going to be upset if they don't dominate the trenches this weekend. I'll be, it's a weird thing to have to come in here on a Monday if they move to 4-0 and feel a little downtrodden. I mean, on the one hand, I am trying very hard to appreciate what we're witnessing so far this season. The fact that we've had, this entire month to be elated about not only the return of college football, which we're generally pleased with, but also the fact that our team has been a big part of the storyline. There's about 20 to 25 or so really kind of interesting, developing storylines in college football right now. Some of them have to do with coaches, potential coach firings and hirings and all of that. Some of them have to do with the teams that are surprisingly undefeated still, such as Duke and Kansas playing each other this weekend. The App State story has been a big story to start college football because of the insanity of all the games they've been involved in. We talked about the early struggles of Alabama against Texas and what that game could have been if Texas' quarterback hadn't got knocked out. Obviously, the firing of Scott Frost at Nebraska. We go through all these stories. But when you compile the 20 to 25 stories that have been kind of the predominant direction of this year's soap opera that is college football, Florida State's a big part of that. You're hearing that part of the conversation now. It may be just a small chapter, but it's, oh, by the way, those once proud badasses in Tallahassee are undefeated.
Yeah, can I lay out a weird scenario for you, please? If two unlikely results happen, well, one's unlikely, one is, you could see it. If Wake Forest were to beat Clemson tomorrow in a sleepy nooner, I know I'm not trying to summon it. I like where that game fits, and you could see yourself at 1:30 saying, "Oh my God, it's 17-14 Wake at half. What's going on here?" That wouldn't be shocking, would it?
No, I don't suppose.
All right, if Wake wins that game, and let's say out in Jerry's world, Texas A&M beats Arkansas, do you know what the best game on the slate next week would be if we beat Boston College?
Boston Wake, yeah.
Game day. Now, wouldn't that be something? Your only competition at that point would be Ole Miss, Kentucky. And I wonder what they would do, because I think a Florida State game in Tallahassee would play better for TV because it's been so damn long.
Yeah, for TV, probably, although Wake ruins that if you're trying to sell it to the country. And then in addition,
right,
Ole Miss, Kentucky is a good game.
But if Wake were to score the upset, they'd be borderline top 10. And we would be ranked. So you'd have number 11 versus number 22 or something along those lines.
Well, we can root for it for a lot of reasons, because I think no matter who wins that game, Clemson's the better team. Now, they may not win it because sometimes that doesn't always play out that way. But if you're trying to win the Atlantic, you need Wake to win this game and then turn around and beat Wake, obviously.
And I don't really care all that much about game day. I just care about our program being on
the PR.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bump.
It's a bump for I mean, you get Hykeem Williams if he closed today in the 2:00 hour. You just got a linebacker. You go to 4-0, you're ranked, and then you're hosting game day. Man, people would want to be here. Kids would want to come and visit here next weekend. That would be huge for the program. Your competition, though, is Alabama, Arkansas, which is why I mentioned that game in Jerry's world. Ole Miss and Kentucky, and then Clemson, NC State. But I would think that a Wake Forest upset of Clemson would devalue that game. Don't really care myself about game day, but I want the kids to be here in force.
I think you're going to be locked in tonight to watch that Syracuse game, though. That's going to yeah. I'm
pumped.
Well, the happy hour starts things off at 5:30. Another reminder, we'll be there on the Appalachia Parkway. They're at the corner pocket. I had it reversed there. What was I doing? 5:30, Appalachia Parkway, right there, corner pocket. The CP's famous. You guys know where it is. Come on by and say hello. Dad's on his way. He's in the car.
Already? He's going to make it in plenty of time.
I believe so. He called. I didn't pick up. But
did he call it 107?
He called. No, he called. He called early this morning. So I have a feeling he was telling me, "Hey, I'm out the door by lunchtime."
It took my folks about 6 months to figure out the new time change from 3 to 6.
Yeah,
I mean 122.
What are we doing here, guys? What? There's no chance I'm picking that up. I don't pick up my phone during show anyhow. But I know, it's annoying. You're like, why is my phone buzzing? I got the massage this morning, Tom.
All right, I was going to ask about that. We have not talked about that in real life.
Got the massage.
How'd it go?
It was great.
You look like you're okay. It wasn't too deep a tissue massage.
No, I mean, we got after some things there with the back and the hamstring.
But sometimes it'll paralyze a joker.
Oh no, I was all right. All right. Yeah. Oh no, it was cool. And they I did. It was fine. It was good. Haven't had one in a while.
Any problems?
No.
Right.
No weird.
When you're saying, I was like, what's he having it on about?
I had no problem. I'm just saying it was a straightforward. Then I was really relaxed, and I just wanted to go lay by a pool. Was the problem? I was like, oh, I got to work today. I got to do stuff. Plus, when I got at home, I wanted to do some edging before I came in the studio today. Tom, need to get a little edging in, you're all relaxed.
Did you have to? I don't want it to be too lowbrow here.
Yeah.
In the restroom, did you have radioactive?
Nothing terrible yet.
No, the toxins haven't processed through yet.
I'm gunning water. I'm sure it's going to happen.
Not glow in the dark.
No. I should be all right. I've ate well this week. Only had a few beers. Nothing crazy.
There you go. Good for you.
Kept it. I played a little golf. Didn't even have beverage.
You had a sandy birdie from a 2-tier green.
I did have a sandy birdie from a 2-tier green.
I'll brag on you.
Well, thank you. The 3-wood is what you need to brag on.
Oh yeah, I had a great 3-wood.
No.
There you go. That's for you.
The 3-wood on number 9. Up the hill. That was some things. Jeremy, what's up, baby? Go Noles and let the adult beverages flow, baby. That's Jeremy's contribution to today's chat. Welcome in. All right, we're good. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports in about 10 minutes or so. We'll get to his picks. Have a good time. Sean P. Good God. We have to break on that note.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas. Does Margarita know? Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
If you're a business owner of any kind, you need advanced fire protection services. We are AFPS, and we provide high-quality life safety services throughout Northwest Florida, and we've been doing it since 1989, with offices now in Tallahassee. Fire sprinklers, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, hood suppression systems, and emergency exit lights. For all of your life safety equipment, we've got you covered 24/7. We are Advanced Fire Protection Services. For a free life safety system evaluation, visit WeSaveLives.com. That's WeSaveLives.com.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For better style, quality, and design, go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Hey, this is Greg Tish. Here's something you might know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have never had a cup of coffee in my life. Well, that is until now. So why change now? Well, it's because my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after hearing me say that and insisted that I give his product a try. I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought coffee is coffee, you know? No, it's not. I have tried their coffee and it is fantastic. Now, I've got a fascination with learning more about the best coffee in our area. Grassroots Coffee is locally roasted, locally owned, and locally loved. You can find whole bean Grassroots Coffee on the local aisle at Publix, also in Whole Foods. But the best way to get this black gold is to order it online. They literally grind the fresh roasted beans to your preferred level, bag it, write the date on it by hand so you know the exact day your coffee was roasted. It doesn't get any more fresh than that. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose the coffee you want and how you want it. And join me. Let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
thing at all, but it's a good story. And a lot of you, if you're like me, I think you miss some really, really good high level sports reporting that existed for a real long time. Certainly all my youth, I was fortunate enough to grow up with the St. Pete Times, and really a great paper. But I was a paper buff back in the day. I would read, when you go into Publix and you can get, whatever you want to get, Washington Post, Seattle Post Intelligencer, Detroit Free Press, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
I know more
Herald.
about you. Okay.
So I would grab all these newspapers, and I loved great sports writing. Well, I fear because of the digital age and what we have with the need for clicks in the internet that, some of that has had to suffer, because the idea is you quickly get something up and move on to the next, because the news cycle is so constant. So when I come across a really good piece of journalism that is long form and it does what good journalism can do, in addition to inform, then I draw people's attention to it if you can. Ryan Hawkinsmith wrote a piece for ESPN.com on the Aaron Judge home run that changed a kid's life, and it's got a picture the kid holding the ball in tears in the dugout with Aaron Judge.
This sounds cool.
It's a great story, and it gets very layered. It starts out, you're like, oh, well, what happened? What did Aaron Judge do for this kid? I want to hear that. I want to know more about this guy who's about to break a how old record. So I started reading more, but then it gets into that kid's family and how this convening and their background, and it's just fascinating. So it's a good read, and it's worth your time. So that's all that was. That was not me getting into it, just something as an aside.
Perfect for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you'll like it.
You get into the groove of the day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to turn on game day. Not me. And you read something fun, or you check the lines or whatever. But I like a feel-good piece to start a Saturday. So I'll probably read that in the morning.
It's yeah, and I always also love when you have an operation where you can, where they let somebody do that kind of investigative long form where you can get background like that, because this could have been a very easy one-click story. Hey, Judge does this nice thing with a baseball for a kid. There's lots of stories like that. This is better than that. So you'll enjoy it. And then the only other thing that's non-football related today on the show is, and I'm asking this question because I am now going to sit down and have to read this, but you can tell me if I'm out of touch by my response to this story. So Udoka's suspended by the Celtics, right, for a year. Okay, the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, just reading the headline, I thought, oh, no. I mean, this guy throw his career away? What's happened? Did he say something inappropriate to an employee? Because I saw the suspension was for a year. So I was like, oh, what did he do? Because you're not going to survive that, and understandably. So then I read the story and I'm like, I'm really at a loss why anybody would be suspended for a year for a consensual relationship, even if it violates team rules about the workforce and that. There's something else that has to be going on here.
Well, here's what I don't understand, because I haven't read the particulars, but here's what I know are the base headlines, which I'm not going to be the misinformed public guy.
Right.
But I did watch Woj's breakdown on SportsCenter of it, where they said, so what does this mean for his future? It's likely over in Boston, but that doesn't mean he won't be pursued by other teams in the league. In fact, this is not even close to the end of his career in coaching. Somebody's going to pick him up. I'm like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if it would be you're blacklisted from the sport kind of a suspension. That's what a year implies, is that a year away means nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you.
So you're hitting on something
but he's saying the market's wide open.
Because everybody wants to hire him because of what I'm reading here. There's no crime committed whatsoever. And I don't even know that, was this an affair? There doesn't seem to be anything salacious about this. I am very confused how a person just got suspended for a year for having a consensual relationship with another Celtics employee. Now, you could get in trouble. The companies do have rules about coworkers fraternizing, but that is just strange. Doesn't seem suspendable for a year to me. All right, we got to get to picks. We got to do the right thing here and bring in my man Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Hello, Lee. How the hell are you, brother?
I'm good. Have you been to A&M before? See a game there?
No, I never have. It's in the middle of nowhere, and I understand it's a huge stadium and probably a great time, but I have no desire to be there now.
Okay, well, I will say this.
Yeah.
I expected it to be good. It was great. The tailgating was off the chains. It is. We drove from Austin. Literally, you drive about an hour and 45 minutes, and all of a sudden you see this big stadium in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere is the app descriptor there, yeah.
Yeah, But I will say this: they got music being played on a couple different stages around the stadium.
Right.
They have about 70 booths. If you're like a 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old kid, you're in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
I've
You
seen one-
get suckered in, yeah.
Doing footballs, at different things and winning prizes. There must be 70 different advertisers giving away stuff there. And then you go to the quad and you watch them shoot off the cannon. Their band comes and lines up, and 3,000 corps members march from there into the stadium. And then, 107,000 people standing for the entire game. I thought it was a great atmosphere.
And they're subject to watch that woefully sorry offense take the field every Saturday.
And we matched it.
You don't have any receivers.
I mean, it's crazy that Miami sitting here, there's probably 8 or 10 kids that are backups that are starting for Division I teams. Not just not catching the ball. I mean, that comes and goes. But they couldn't separate from third-string defensive backs. So if I'm Miami, that's the first, second, and third team I'm looking for. I'm telling any kid in high school, if you're that good, you can come in and start.
Well, he's going to have to find some receivers. There's no doubt. I also think the offense has suffered without Lashley. It seems so difficult for Van Dyke back there right now. It's just
here's part of the problem. So I was able to watch the game closely. Between the 20s, I thought the play calling was good. I mean, a lot of crossing routes, got the tight end involved. But if your receivers can't get free man on man, it's all crossing routes. And inside the 20, I did not think the Gaddis called a good game.
right.
You got to come up. They were playing 2 third-string cornerbacks in the second half.
Yeah.
Come on, line up quad receivers. Come up with a couple plays that they've never seen. Showed nothing. It was like they were playing Middle Tennessee State.
Well, the thing is, and it's the last we'll talk of that one, but
Yeah.
I also think Mario's in-game play calling, even going back to, or his whole career has been awful in that way. He can recruit like a mother, and everybody will hire him because of it. But, man,
Right.
that dude is in love with a field goal, isn't he?
Yeah, you got to go for it.
He will
Win.
He will kick a field goal with the best of them. All right, here we go. This should be a weird game because nobody can figure out if Richardson isn't hurt or what, because he goes from a guy who beats Utah to now looking like he can't play a lick. Tennessee minus 10.5 against UF.
I think he's somewhere in between. Hendon Hooker's been playing incredible. No picks the first 3 games. But let's look at the competition. Ball State, Akron, and Pitt. I mean, even Pitt's defense is nothing special. So you dabble a little bit in the stock market?
Every now and again, brother.
Okay. So if you buy Tennessee, it's like buying crypto at its height. It's probably not sustainable. Florida, if you're buying now, it's at an all-time low after losing to Kentucky.
Right.
And should have lost to South Florida.
Yes, they should
I
have.
think Anthony Richardson should play fine. It's a rivalry game. Florida's won 16-17. So Tennessee's favored by 11. Just guess the line the last 2 years when the Gators played Tennessee.
Florida by 27.
No, 17.5 and 19. Okay.
A lot.
So most people guess 7 to 10. So you're telling me in the matter of 1 year, the difference is 30 points? I don't think so. Florida won the last 2 years, 38-14 and 31-19, 12 and 24 points. I think the spread's too high. I think Tennessee wins 34-28, but Florida covers.
Clemson and Wake, this number is 7. Wake's offensive and defensive lines have not been good. I would expect Clemson runs the football. Do they cover the 7?
So they've dominated the series.
Yep.
Won, it seems like, every game, and they consistently run for over 6 yards and pass for over 10 yards per pass attempt. But that usually, except for a game a couple of years ago, usually Wake Forest is just worn out. After the Army game last year, they had nothing left. They still don't have a whole lot of depth. But I think they're going to be able to game plan for this game here. I think their skill players are on par with Clemson's, believe it or not. And this might be the game where Clemson makes a quarterback change and goes to Cade Klubnik. They've won 13 straight Clemson. It all ends on Saturday in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest outright. Wrong team favorite, 38-35.
That'd be a fun day. Fun day because we play Wake Forest really soon, and that place would be sold out, and game day may be here if that continues. FSU, speaking of which, I was just talking about Wake's offensive line. My goodness, poor Boston College. That is an offensive line that is seldom seen in Division I football in a bad way. Noles are favored by 17.5. What you got?
So these games have been close. Last 3 games within a touchdown. Offensive line is horrible, but Phil Jerkovic, I think he's still pretty good. And I think they're going to be motivated. The last 3 games, like I said, all tight, 7 points or less. Florida State 2-5 against the spread as a home favorite under Norvell. I just think the line's too big. I think it should be 10, 11 points. I think Florida State wins 30-23, but you're going to see the best effort for Boston College here. You know the line, what the line was estimated to be before the season started?
FSU -2.
6. Now it's going up 11.5 points. And maybe justifiably so, but got to think Boston College is going to show something here. Florida State, they can't be impressed watching film. I think it's going to be a tight game, but Florida State wins.
Buffalo giving 5.5 to the Miami Dolphins, and this Miami team is now fun and interesting. And, of course, the Bills arguably have the best quarterback in football and the best odds to win the Super Bowl. Dolphins rise up here and make this a game?
So it is fun, and that's, all I think people wanted the last couple of years. They wanted to be competitive. Problem is the last 2 years, Buffalo won by a combined score of 57-18. I think Miami's closed the gap, but I don't think they're there yet. They're going to try to hit on some big plays, but Buffalo's secondary, they got the 2 best safeties, at least tandem, in my opinion, of Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. They're not going to allow long balls to be thrown over their head here. The right team is favored. Buffalo 34-24, and you want to watch an improved front seven, watch that Buffalo front seven. They stop the run, and they get after the passer.
Bucks have one of the best defenses in football through the first couple of weeks, but they're missing a gazillion folks going into this game against the Packers at -2. What say you?
And if New Orleans was patient, I think that they were probably a series away from taking over the lead in that game. Jameis just couldn't be patient, couldn't control himself, started throwing into traffic, and they lose. Now, a lot of people base their decisions on who they pick based on the first game of the year. And if you watch Green Bay, you're like, wow, they're not going to be good against Minnesota. But Minnesota showed some formations and plays that Green Bay had never seen before. So in watching them last week, I think they're one of the better defenses. They really don't have any weaknesses on all 3 levels on defense. I think their offensive line coming together. Got 1 starter back last week. They might get the last one back this week and be intact. And like you mentioned, I mean, Evans is out, Chris Godwin and Julio Jones, their game-time decision here. And I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to be patient here, starting to come together with his receivers, and he has the 1-2 punch at running back here. Wrong team favorite. Green Bay outright, 27-20.
Last one, game of the week. How can folks get it? North Carolina, Notre Dame, basically a pick 'em. It's 1.5 UNC.
Yep, great game. Notre Dame's won the last 2. Can they keep rolling here against Tar Heels? You want to get the game for free? Just call 800-400-9741. We went 8-3 last week on our picks, 6-3 the week before. Ready to roll this week, and you're playing favorites. Favorites last week, 63% in college football. Dogs are going to bite back. And another stat to take a look at in the NFL, how about this? If a team is 0-2 and straight up and against the spread, week 3 in the NFL, if you play on them, no one likes to play ugly teams, but they are 55-40 since 2010. So pay attention to those trends. They want to hop on board. We have monthly and yearly specials. Check them out right now. We've had 5 out of 6 winning weeks. ParamountSports.com.
Be good, brother. Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Yep. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, back from watching the Canes lose to Texas A&M in a apparently very festive atmosphere. Yeah.
Well, that's all they got. That's all I got up there.
Scooter Knoll. Woo! I see it. I know who you are, Scooter Knoll. It was great hanging out with you and talking to you when we were in New Orleans, buddy. I appreciate you weighing in and supporting what we do. He's a good guy.
If he's got a question, too, feel free.
Feel free. Eric Angel, thank you as well. What's up, Jeff and Tom? Traffic's crazy right now. You know what, Eric? That's what I'm talking about. I want to have to consider my options. I want to say to myself, well, you can't go there now. It's game weekend. It's going to be packed over that way. If you want to get over there, you got to go back the back way here. Let me show you how to do that. Like that kind of conversation. I want to have those conversations. No, Dad, don't take Tennessee Street. It's a madhouse. Go around. Go the back ways. You've been here a million times. So, like, I want to start having those conversations.
It's a conversation we have to have today. I'm thankful that the show is at 5:30, not 5, because when the town gets like this, getting from where we are near I-10 all the way down the Parkway, it's you talk about a slog on a football Saturday for the Noles. It's a slog just getting around town.
It makes me smile, man. I love it. I'm feeling this. I mean, listen, you got to be prepared for it mentally, and you got to take the time to know how long it's going to take. But, buddy, there's nothing better when this town's alive because of football. You know, infused with belief. Oh, you feel it everywhere. Gas station, Publix,
Hotel
Red
Indigo.
Light, Hotel Indigo for pregame show. Myself and Tom Lang. Gonna be good. Little cash bar, little game day buffet. The best view for any pregame show you could possibly attend. Nice cross breeze. You feel that breeze when you're coming in today? Little something. A lot better than yesterday.
The back deck has been open for many hours this week.
Let me tell you, the first day of fall could have go to hell yesterday. It was 97 in Tallahassee. That was not cool. But today, it's like fall went, we're on. Yeah, guys, get it together. Let's go. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Tallahassee Police Department announced Thursday night they made an arrest in relation to a shooting incident Wednesday night in the 2700 block of Pecan Road. 18-year-old Dylan Riley was arrested and is facing 5 counts of attempted second-degree homicide with a firearm. A vehicle with 5 female occupants was attempting to leave an apartment complex and attempted to go around male subjects blocking the roadway. The driver attempted to go around the individuals and went a short distance when Riley pulled out a gun and shot at the vehicle. A passenger was struck by gunfire and sustained serious injuries. The victims and Riley did not know each other. One person is dead after a crash that occurred just after 8 a.m. Wednesday. The incident happened near the intersection of Wanish Way and Robert and Trudy Perkins Way. The victim was standing in the roadway operating the lift gate to a tractor trailer moments before the crash. A woman traveling east on Robert Trudy Perkins Way struck the man, and he succumbed to his injuries on the scene. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 87. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Lows dip down to about 64. Mainly clear skies again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 90. Dry with temperatures a bit above average Sunday and Monday and highs in the low 90s. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 86.
Hi, this is the legendary Mary Bush Smith inviting you to tune in every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 o'clock a.m. for Sunday Morning Gospel. We'll feature our sponsor, TLC Chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Eisman, 850-222-5700.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 Money Tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Facing Brooks. Come back stronger with Facing Brooks.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
There's a TikTok that's going viral because of a butter softening method. They are putting the Vermont Creamery butter in the waistband of her pants. Give it 5 minutes. You can go and measure out your ingredients, and then your butter is ready to go. You cannot do this in Florida.
No.
Because your pants will be full of butter in 2 minutes. Somebody try it. Post on TikTok.
Unless it says juicy across the back.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
it's year one for a new coach, and he is choosing to stress playing the younger players, which is smart. And I think his quarterback's hurt. I'm not saying he's great when he's healthy, but he's certainly a hell of a lot better than what we've seen. So if that is still going to linger, Tennessee's going to win big. If that's still a problem.
Just feels like that's what's coming.
It does feel like it.
But Tennessee hardly ever capitalizes on that moment, at least
not against Florida.
Not without a scare in the first half. The one 6 years ago up there in Tennessee was them choking all over themselves in the first half. And then they figured it out. They're like, oh, Florida's still bad enough that we can just put the pedal to the metal. And they did.
Yeah, I don't trust them. They have not. The Volunteers are a team that have not done a lot to earn our trust with any degree of consistency. So,
which is why Lee's pick for the Noles, I think, is fair too. I mean, if you're outside of this market, you're like, well, I mean, that's great. You guys are, that's different. Haven't seen that in 7 years. But this is a type of game where Florida State, I mean, when's the last time they were 4-0 and 5-0? At some point, something's got to give. They're going to be late to the party on us, and that's okay.
Well, but also I do, listen, if they can block at all, meaning Boston College, if they can, and that's a big if. Like, I'm not telling you they can. They may not be able to block it up at all for him. And if they can't, it doesn't matter how good he is. We know he's good. We've all seen him make the NFL throws. And he's got Zay Flowers to throw too. So if he's got time, he can hurt you because that's a receiver that can hurt you, and that's a quarterback that can drop it in there. But they haven't shown that they can against anybody, meaning block it up consistently. So unless that happens, I don't know how Boston College will hang around. Now, conversely, I don't know if Jordan Travis is going to start.
Right.
We don't know who's playing, who's not playing for Florida State. There are several banged up guys, and we don't know when they're coming back. So if all of a sudden we roll out there Saturday night and there's 6 starters down or 5 starters down, you're like, well, we're still going to win, but I don't know that it's going to look smooth.
Right.
It's going to be choppy, So I could see, I get that. When it bumped to 17.5, I thought that's a bit much. But I like us at 16.5. I will say that. Zaxby's, my friends, they make a lot of this possible. Pre-game, post-game, no game at all. Anytime is the right time for Zaxby's platters. Just as long as you're hungry, feed your team with your choice of traditional or buffalo fingers or boneless or traditional wings. If you're having trouble deciding, get the best of both worlds with a sampler platter. I get that sampler platter every weekend. We're rolling with it. Don't forget the world-famous Zaxby's sauce. Satisfy your chicken craving with Zaxby's platters. Order online or in the app, your Tallahassee Zaxby's. A proud Golden Chief supporter now for Booster for 17 years. Go Noles. They sponsor all the stuff that we do, and we thank them very much.
They own the day, and you'll see it out there tomorrow as well. If you're at the tailgate lots and you want to walk over to Indigo, there will be a giant banner hanging over the side of Hotel Indigo.
It's a cool banner.
It is. It's got a QR code on it, sir.
Is Norvell announcing our starting quarterback before the game starts? I don't think so. No. Not that I'm aware of. Uvis, he could, but I don't see the point.
Maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
He typically does not like to do that for advantage purposes. And I guess, in this instance there would be, but there are some things where it's, all right, your right guard may play, may not. Like, you can probably let the people know. But until there is sweeping legislation, so to speak, in the NCAA or Power 5.
The way it works in the NFL, yeah.
Yeah.
David, appreciate you. Go Noles. See you tomorrow at Hotel Indigo. Who is the leading rusher for the Noles? Over under. Noles lead by 14 at the half. I didn't do quarter-by-quarter halftime numbers this week when I was calculating what I wanted to gamble. I just went game, either on the money line or the total or the spread. I didn't do a lot of first-quarter action, halftime action. I should, because you can really take advantage of mistakes there. But you have to have the time to sit down and, vet those and get into those.
The leading rusher question is really a good one every week. It's hard to know.
I think it'll be Ward. I'm going to usually fall back on Ward until Benson runs with a greater degree of consistency.
Maybe the light bulb came on for Trey in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was great.
A couple of really big-time runs. And actually going back and looking at the first half, there's a couple of chain-moving runs where he does exactly what he needs to do. He's either patient in a 3rd and 1 setting or 3rd and 2 to get through.
Yep.
And then there's another one on a first down where he runs 7 yards and it's right up the middle. He's shot out of a cannon. So maybe he's coming around.
Well, I do think if you're the kind of runner that plugs and plods and is really patient, like we watch Wake Forest in the past do, or certainly Le'Veon Bell and others that do it in the NFL, famously so, right? It's a hard style to get used to. I was really wrong about this. for a long time when I saw running backs like that, because I was old school and I was taught that you hit the hole with everything you got, A, to get as much yardage as the play design will allow for, and B, because you want to give as much as you're getting. When I saw people starting to do this half-stepping in the backfield, I was like, look at this pussyfooting going on here at running back. This is not what we do.
Yeah, I'll tell you from Tuesday at practice, Coach Norvell maybe agrees with you and your old school mentality because they come out. It's fourth period, so even that's actually still technically a period that we can talk about at length. But they're running. I don't know, it might be outside zone, whatever it is, but it's just against air or the scout team. And every time the ball is handed off to the back, it's two hands over his mouth. Hit it!
Yeah.
Hit it!
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, okay. He's not happy with this tentative running style.
I'm not a fan. Some people can do it, first of all, and they're really good at it.
Corbin was good at it last year too because we couldn't block, and he's saying, usually our first option is going to get blown to hell, so let me try and find my way around this to convert on a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2 out of the Wildcat.
I'll just tell you again that the ability to do that, not everybody has it. Some guys just need to lower their pads and let's go. And also, there's a difference between what we're talking about with outside zone or power or, so running styles differ based on the play call and
Correct.
What's needed. Yeah.
Yes. An outside zone or a counter, you need to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, you got to be patient.
But the interesting thing was that Trey Benson ran so hard in the spring game. I mean, everything was straight ahead. I thought it was very physical compared to what we've seen so far through 3 games. But that question's always going to be asked. The other part of David's question, which is over under 14 points at the break. If Jordan starts, over. If he doesn't, I'm not sold enough on Tate to say that Florida State's going to be up by more than 2 touchdowns at the break. Because I feel like there's still growth coming for him, which means code forward, there's still mistakes coming for him.
But guess what? If he plays, in many ways the game becomes more intriguing. Not because of the potential for disaster.
It becomes more in doubt. Yeah.
But you know what else it becomes? I mean, he is a little bit more of a gunslinger. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get the ball down the field.
Yeah, Johnny should be excited about that.
I mean, if that happens, he's got to be like, well, certainly would love to see Jordan return, but
while he's away,
we're just going to have to make do here. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see the drop back pass game on display. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. They can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas.
Does Margarita know?
Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced, and while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you, and thank me later.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Cameron Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Tom is about to do the same. Welcome back in Libations Friday as we take a look at some numbers. We partner with Prize Picks for some time now, and they're a very good partner. And I like that they don't get mad when we win, and they just encourage us time and again with pretty frequent emails letting us know that we are whooping ass for them.
Yeah, that's right. As they should.
It's good to whoop ass for you, Prize Picks. You got a fine product there. And
that's because the listeners and the viewers are whooping butt for us, too, by using promo code Warchant. Thanks, people. Scores of you have signed up.
Use that code. It's going to make Tom a millionaire. I'm kidding. Promo code Warchant. Use code Warchant, and they will match your deposit 100%. And that is a really good thing. So if I give $100 for my account, I say, here's $100 in the kitty. Let's see how we do. They go, oh, no, nay, Mr. Cameron. You got $200 with the promo code Warchant. That doesn't suck. Yes, we'll be announcing Hykeem Williams and his intentions. Is that 2?
2:30.
2:30. All right. Hold on. Hold on to your butts. We may get us a 5-star wide receiver.
You or me on the Prize Picks. What order do you want to go in this week? Because I struck out last week.
I'll go. Go ahead. Throw mine up there on the screen for the folks to see, and I'll regale the driving audience. We went Michigan, Maryland in this week to start because I'm not a believer in Maryland, and I kind of rather enjoy Michigan's offense. I think it's pretty good. J.J. McCarthy to throw for more than 255 yards, 255.5 passing yards. I'm going to go over there. I took Ronnie Bell, stud receiver who they were without the services of a year ago because of that injury in the first game. He's been nothing short of sensational since returning. They targeted him both out on the edge and in the slot, Tom, so you get double your bang for your buck. I suspect he'll have more than 5 receptions. And then finally, Will Shipley and the Nebraska offensive line, they're going to run him a lot, I think, against Wake's defense, which is rather porous, over 77.5 yards. And all I did was bet a measly $35 in order to win 210.
I like it. Will Shipley's number was in the mid-80s, too. It's come down, so good job for waiting on that market for him. For me, I've got a 2-play here. Pat Garwo, the number is 61.5. That's our game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in 2 games not named Maine, he's only rushed for 40 total yards on a ton of carries, under 2 yards per carry.
Their line is struggling.
And then quickly, Arkansas's defense does not give up yards on the ground, but they do give up yards through the air.
You went over with Max Johnson
325.
in a Jimbo offense?
Yes, I know. It's weakness against weakness, but the best they've done against the pass is 325 at Arkansas.
All right. So there you go. Tom's picks are up. Good times. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy detailing his commitment to America agenda, including policies to combat inflation.
You know, I ask everybody across this country, could you afford to give up 1 month of your wages?
1 month of your wages. The sad part is these Democratic policies has already taken 1 month of your wages. So now the struggle that you have is you're living through 12 months with only 11 months pay now because inflation is so high.
That agenda follows the playbook of the contract with America that helped former House Speaker Newt Gingrich win a GOP majority in the 1990s. Russia escalating its military and political campaign, rounding up Russian army reservists to fight. A day after Vladimir Putin ordered a partial mobilization of reserves to bolster his troops in Ukraine, dramatic scenes of tearful families bidding farewell to men. Also, a number of protests continuing in Russia. Meanwhile, at the Pentagon, Brigadier General Pat Ryder says U.S. policy will not shift based on Putin's call for reserve.
In terms of the statements or the announcements coming out of Russia, it does not affect the department's commitment to continue working closely with our international partners and our allies on providing Ukraine with the support that it needs in their fight to defend their country.
Also at townhall.com, Hurricane Fiona has really blasted Bermuda. Very heavy rain and strong winds. Now, forecasters say the storm is moving toward northeastern Canada, should arrive late Friday, early Saturday. Hurricane watch for Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. More on these stories, townhall.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout, resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com. Pointed, whatever it might be. I don't know the answer yet, but we should any second now. We had originally heard 2:30, got moved to 2. Then I don't know. We're just waiting to see right now. So if you're listening to this show and you're like, I want to know, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I've got my eyes on it, and it looks like it is going to be quite some time here because they've got a field reporter in a gymnasium at a high school just standing around and talking, and there's a bunch of people in the stands. So they might do this thing where the high school coach thanks everybody that ever lived, and then they say, all right, now that I've had my 15 minutes of fame, go ahead, Hykeem. But we'll keep you posted.
I still haven't. I mean, you can do whatever you want, and I know it's really popular with a segment of the football-loving population, the recruiting stuff, you know. And young kids do everything online anymore. I get that. This isn't my tisk get off my lawn moment, but I still have not come around on ever enjoying ever of these commitments, any one of these commitment ceremonies. Every time I see one, I'm like, this is ridiculous. That kid's 17. What are we doing?
Yeah, the only one
Or
recently
16.
that resonated with me was Azaria's because of how emotional he was about supporting the family. And
I mean, yeah, I
love
for
those
all of
moments
guys,
where,
but yeah,
it's not necessarily about them. It's a thank you to their parents or the people that helped them get to that place. Those are the ones that I'll be there for, and I'll root on in terms of being a viewer. These other ones, sometimes we'll see what Hykeem's is, but these other ones that are dog and pony shows,
you're like, what are we doing here? Yeah,
just put out a hype video. Those hype videos are cool. Some of the ones the kids have cut over the last couple of years.
I think the biggest thing most people can certainly appreciate if it's a young man making a huge decision, big time player. Lots of folks want to know where he's going to go, what school he's going to attend. Okay, fine. If it's in demand, you're going to make that announcement. Maybe you grew up in a situation where you've always wanted this opportunity because you grew up in the digital era. I got it. Everybody's got the camera. My kids are that way all the time. I'm forever saying, put your phone down, please. But anyhow, I get that's the era they grew up in, so I'm fine with it. But what a cool opportunity. This is why we always like the ones who say any player that comes out and says, look, I'm excited. I'm going to attend Florida State University, and then turns from there and pivots from there and says, I'd like to thank my coach all the way back from, Pee-wee football to high school to, want to thank my parents, all of my teammates, everybody that's ever helped me get to this place. We all love that. That is a cool opportunity. Like that is something that is worthwhile about this whole process. But too often it turns into literally kind of a buffoonish thing where you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, in some ways, that's why I'm happy that it's over sooner with the December signing period. But then I miss signing day. I like the holiday in February because it gave you a little bit of bona fide college football content at a time that's slow. This is where the NFL wins. Every month on the calendar, the NFL has some event that you really want to watch, whether it's seeing your Noles in the combine or kids that you loved in college and see what numbers they put
everything
up.
along the way, yeah.
Right, to the schedule release. I mean, they make a holiday out of the schedule release now. It's crazy.
See, I get much more excited always when the college football schedule is advanced and you go, oh, now we know some times and dates and wheres and all that for all these teams. I love that. But yeah, I'm with you. I still get excited at the beginning of every week after the Saturday ends, looking ahead. So like this week's best games, Clemson, Wake Forest, Florida, Tennessee, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Texas A&M that we talked about earlier. There's an outside chance the Oregon State game against Southern Cal is going to be really good. I think Oregon State has a chance to win that game. So I get excited every time I see that.
So I get that Missouri State is on the list of teams that Arkansas has played, but they've only yielded 205 yards on the ground in 3 games. That's where I find interesting here. What will Jimbo do? Because he's got to throw it, and he likes the slow pace. So are we talking about the race to the under here, or are we talking about the explosive offense that Jimbo every once in a while will break out, even though it's at a snail's pace against a pass defense that is vulnerable?
I think that game's fascinating for a lot of reasons. Some of what you just said, yep, absolutely. But also, if he loses that game, Tom, I mean, you're going to have a full-blown ugly situation where those fans are finally going to go, this guy. I mean, again, he signed a class that is second to none. So most of the time, that's going to give you the requisite buffer to survive these average-ass seasons, plural. But
I think 23 is it, one way or the other. You
better start winning some damn games, dude.
Yeah.
We're paying you $1 gazillion to be a hell of a lot better than this average week-to-week unwatchable product that we roll on in here 100,000+ strong to see. It's brutal.
they're doing the thing where they're stringing it out. They went to commercial break to make sure that the stream pays the bills. So we'll see. I don't know if you want to move on, and I'll let you know, and I'll flag you down with the Hykeem Williams signal.
I mean, I think it's important. I agree, but I mean, I guess we could take a quick break early in the hour here and then just kind of plow through a very long segment where we have both my mother's picks and the news of Hakeem Williams. I don't know how you want to do it.
I think they might be coming back here. We'll see if he's sitting around in the gym because they're doing their own promo for one of their streaming apps. So usually that's the last position in the break.
I'll stick around and just say this. I thought last week when we previewed and talked about Florida State Louisville, I talked about what an important game it was for Mike Norvell, but what a really important game it was for Adam Fuller. And I thought just the program in general needed to show, again, that they could have a little bit of success. They could string it together. They could go win a legit road game against a desperate team that would be willing to pull out all the stops. And lo and behold, of course, it happened. They did go win that game. And, there were some things we did learn about this defense that we didn't like. And yet, I still think we need more evidence on what this defense is this year. I'm still not entirely certain. I don't think they're going to be great at any point on defense this year. But I'm just holding my breath. They're not straight up bad. Right now, you can't know that. They're not bad. They're just not good.
And they could get better. They developed.
That's what I mean.
Right, yeah.
I'm waiting to see they could get better, but they could also get exposed.
So now they're doing.
Perhaps not by BC.
You ready for the 3-card Monty? So
Sure.
right now they've got the field reporter going. He handed the microphone to Hykeem and just handed it back to the guy. So home stretch here. He's sitting at the table with the people that matter to him most. So,
that's fine. That's fine. I see we're on 3. I have the Twitter feed up. We're all waiting to see. He's got Florida State, Georgia, and Miami, correct?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah. A&M is in there. Did you mention A&M?
I did not.
They're considered a finalist too. He was there last weekend.
Yeah, and I really think that was a big boom for us.
I agree. That game could not have played out better for us.
Yeah, it was really nice to watch that game. As I did, I kept thinking every passing minute that goes by where none of these receivers are doing anything of note is a good minute for us.
Yeah, and you got Johnny Wilson producing on a Friday. That's the other part of this too, is if you look at the offense and what they did against LSU and Louisville respectively, as a receiver, specifically if you're a receiver, that film looks fundamentally different to you than any Florida State film under Mike Norvell has.
Well, threw the ball down the field and made big plays, relied heavily on a big play receiver. And now Mike has talked all about this at length, right? This is going to be an offense that features playmakers, and he wants to play to that. Well, you got to acquire said playmakers. This would be a guy. This would be probably one of the biggest signings in the Mike Norvell era. Obviously, to say that we haven't been rolling in the 5 stars.
Yeah, he's an on-3 consensus 5-star, and they're just continuing to pass the mic back and forth for questions and answers.
Pleasant.
But this is a consensus 5-star prospect. That here is the implication of it if it goes down, and if he doesn't pick us, we've strung this out long enough that would be disappointing. But his commitment could also signal something amazing for others.
Well, that happened with the Hunter situation. Like, I know that obviously Hunter and pulled the okey doke. It was hard for us.
Sam McCall stuck, though.
Sam McCall stuck. Exactly. That's a guy directly attributed to Hunter having said yes to Florida State for as long as he did. So he stuck by his commitment. In fact, had some choice words. Did McCall about Hunter choosing to go elsewhere at the last second. So, that's great. Some of those kids will carry over, especially if they sustain it for a real long period of time. This is one, though, that today is not the end. I can be happy for a moment. The positive PR is there. The perhaps buzz that it creates in the recruiting community that you were just describing is there for everybody to feel. And we get a kid on the periphery that's now suddenly much more interested or something along those lines. That's all good. It's all positive. It's just that I won't exhale assuming anything other than we have to wait until he's actually on campus.
Yeah, agreed. And that's the thing that in the next couple of weeks, well, 2 of the next 3 weeks, when you're hosting Wake Forest and maybe there's a high-profile game that's in prime time, you go on the road to NC State, but you come back for Clemson. If he's in the fold, along with Blake Nicholson and others, because the defensive line class is already good, and you've got one tackle you feel good about, another one in Kearney over in Jacksonville that is considering Florida more heavily. Hopefully the Gators keep declining, and that makes it easier for him to stick with Florida State. But you talk about a mega recruiting weekend. Michael was saying before the season started that they might have wanted to stay away from Clemson because they want positive reinforcement on the field for the kids that are in town.
Mm-hmm.
But if the season continues to trend this way, then the Clemson weekend becomes a massive opportunity where, you don't want to bring kids in for a loss. But, maybe it won't be. Maybe, and it's a close enough game where kids say, I could be the difference. Most years when they come down here the last 5, or we play them in the last 5 years, it's not close enough where they say there's no difference. I'm not going to make a difference. I'm just going to get my head kicked in for 4 years by Clemson.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get our head kicked in by Clemson, and I don't think you get hurt by a close loss if the atmosphere is fantastic and we're competitive as we were a year ago up there where the game is in the balance with 5 minutes to play and all that. I mean, that shows you're closing the gap. Yeah, you'd like to cap it off with the victory, but you're right. The start to going, let's say they go 4-0. Let's say they get the win against Boston College. Again, when we were laying out best possible scenarios, well, if you don't care about recruiting, you would just blanketly say, well, get to 8 wins, Mike, so that we have some proof of concept and feel good. But knowing how sped up everything is, and we talk about this a lot, it's true. If you get to 4-0, man, you're resonating with recruits as they're getting closer and closer to a time in which they have to make a decision. And it beats the hell out of a 1-3 start and getting it turned around later. You got to start fast.
Yeah. Especially because we haven't. September's been the month from hell. And if you win tomorrow, you will have an undefeated September, which is just something we're not used to around here. I will say he's having a hard time keeping it together because he's emotional.
Let's take a break. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Vetrano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Vetrano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at vetranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hi, everybody. It's Ed Dean, Florida's #1 statewide radio talk show, now in Tallahassee Afternoon Drive from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Yes, highly entertaining, fast-paced, never boring. We always give you the story behind the story when you catch the Ed Dean radio show. And we are ready to go. Tallahassee daily, 5 to 6 p.m. It's the Ed Dean radio show on Real Talk 93.3 FM WBFT.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Hykeem Williams has committed to Florida State University.
Who did you spot? Stage right there?
Peter Warwick was
stage
there.
left?
Peter Warwick was there, and so was Snoop Minnis. So that is pretty funny. Peter Warwick was there to come out and give a hug to Hakeem. So 5-star wide receiver Hykeem Williams has committed verbally to Florida State. That is a very, very good day for Ron Dugans and a very good day for this program. Now we'll wait and see if it sticks. He's an elite player, and they haven't had a superstar at wide receiver in a little bit, and he has the potential to be just that. So good news.
Yeah, what's interesting, just to talk about the implications for a minute, for Ron Dugans, you're right.
It's a huge
It's
day
been a
for
big
him.
week because if you noticed in Monday's press conference, Norvell took the time to stop, think, consider what he was going to say, and say Ron Dugans has done a great job when discussing the receivers that were already on campus. And I found that very interesting because I don't know if before that Monday press conference, you would have heard those words in an official setting on the record. But that tells me that behind the scenes, a lot has been going right, not just in the recruiting ranks, but also the work that has been done since these transfers came on campus. And now, out of nowhere, if this sticks, Florida State becomes a destination program for receivers, which it has not been in some time. But this has got to stick, though.
Well, I'm happy for Ron because he's rightfully been criticized by me and you and everybody that cares about Florida State. He has not been able to attract star receivers to this program. In fact, it's been a point of contention for a couple of years now, to say the least. To find out today you got a 5-star who is widely considered to be one of the best players in the country, committing at a position I think of need, certainly, is exciting. And you're right. They have a chance to reshape the way that segment group is viewed at Florida State. We've seen this before. We've been doing this long enough, Tom, over the years, where a team or a segment group within a team, I should say, somewhere that traditionally has been able to produce a certain player, right? Level of player, caliber of player. And then something goes wrong. And the next thing you know, you're asking questions. Why is it so-and-so can't get receivers? Why is it they can't get running backs? You know, are they ever going to find another elite quarterback? Goodness, it's been this many years since they had a guy that the NFL liked at the position, and it's only the most important position. You know, that kind of thing, right? Well, for Florida State, for us lately, it has been frustrating to talk about how is it a year ago we had the worst receiving core in the ACC. And that was continuing a long-standing tradition of being average to subpar. You know, I mean, we had for the last more than a handful of years, we haven't really had a stretch where you thought about Florida State in the same sentence as great receivers.
Yeah, the thing that I love about this particular commitment is the listing. He looked every bit of it in his commitment ceremony. It's 6'3", 200.
Oh, yeah, he's a big kid.
I mean, there are different looking high school seniors, and those are the ones that typically go to the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world.
Ohio State, if they're a
Ohio
receiver,
State.
yep.
Absolutely. And this guy, just on the stage, you could see he's one of those that's already built just a little bit differently. That's why he's a high 4-star, 5-star across the board, no matter the service, and he's an on-3 consensus 5-star prospect. I just love that because, I mean, if we get a 4 or 5-star receiver at all, it's time to do a backflip if you can do it because we don't get them very often. But you would figure Florida State would take a step up by grabbing the 5'11" 4 and a 4 or 5-star receiver, not the 6'3".
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I like these guys.
Well, I'm excited, obviously, and it's good news for Florida State. Again, I don't go crazy in recruiting the way that a lot of people do and hoop and holler, especially because we know this is a fickle deal, man. And to invest your heart, you know the importance of it. You know the importance of getting great players to come here. Saves coaches' jobs, all that's true. You also know that when a kid commits, it's not the end of it. And in the world of the NIL, strange things happen.
And in judging by how that commitment ceremony went,
all right,
it's not over.
It's not. It'll be, yeah.
He chucked the Florida State hat before he chose it again.
Well, I know, but that was
It's to
part of an
troll Miami.
elaborate setup. It's to troll Miami, right? I know. I get it. The whole thing was,
Ricard Monty.
It was very much what the wide receiver position tends to produce. Just something about that. Now that we know, let's take the break. Let's bring Mom in next and start in earnest. Hykeem Williams, 5-star wide receiver, has officially committed to Florida State. Let's just add to the joy of an already beautiful Libations Friday next when Mama comes in and I beat her in some picks.
Your local news now.
The Cairo Police Department requested the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to assist in a death investigation of an 18-year-old Lewis Herring Jr. Cairo Police Department officers located Herring dead in the Forest Lawn Cemetery on 11th Avenue Northwest in Cairo. Herring was reported missing by his parents early Wednesday. An autopsy will be performed to determine an exact cause of death. The investigation into the case is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Georgia Bureau of Investigation by calling 229-225-4090. The city of Tallahassee took another step to expand business at its international airport. Commissioners authorized Wednesday to finalize negotiations and execute the necessary agreements with Bureau Aviation Tallahassee LLC. It is projected that the business venture will create 291 permanent jobs and over 250 temporary construction jobs during the development, with a total economic impact exceeding $60 million. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Hey, this is Greg Tish. Here's something you might know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have never had a cup of coffee in my life. Well, that is until now. So why change now? Well, it's because my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after hearing me say that and insisted that I give his product a try. I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought coffee is coffee, you know? No, it's not. I have tried their coffee and it is fantastic. Now, I've got a fascination with learning more about the best coffee in our area. Grassroots Coffee is locally roasted, locally owned, and locally loved. You can find whole bean Grassroots Coffee on the local aisle at Publix, also in Whole Foods. But the best way to get this black gold is to order it online. They literally grind the fresh roasted beans to your preferred level, bag it, write the date on it by hand so you know the exact day your coffee was roasted. It doesn't get any more fresh than that. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose the coffee you want and how you want it, and join me. Let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 87. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Lows dip down to about 64. Mainly clear skies again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 90. Dry with temperatures a bit above average Sunday and Monday and highs in the low 90s. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 87.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true. But I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Feed your team with your choice of traditional or buffalo wings, boneless or traditional wings. Also, if you're having trouble deciding, hey, get the best of both worlds with that sampler platter right there. Don't forget that world famous Zaxby's sauce. I'm talking about Zaxby's platters for your tailgate. And oh yeah, they are proud Golden Chief boosters for 17 years now, your Tallahassee Zaxby's. So last night, my mom misstepped, if you will, and did in fact take the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mitch Trubisky
she said, quote, "I don't know what was wrong with me," end quote, when I said hello briefly.
Well, I took Cleveland, and we talked earlier today before we came on the air to find out who picked what, and I took Cleveland. She took Pittsburgh. 29-17 Cleveland wins, and thus I'm only up one game after we split last week. If you would, fire it up. Let's make this thing happen, baby.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room!
Ma, the meatloaf! Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama, that's you got a chance to rebound there. It's only one game difference now. We split yet again last week. It's been hotly contested so far early in the year.
I know. That's encouraging for me so far. I'm telling you, and these couple of these games, I mean, they really have been coin flips. But yeah, last night, I don't know. I guess I really like Mike Tomlin a lot, and so I guess that was why I picked him. But anyway, not that I don't like that Stefanski guy for Cleveland, but I think Mike Tomlin's a really good coach, but I think he's got his work cut out for him this year.
I agree. They do have their work cut out for them this year. I think what you're doing is biding time until you decide to start Pickett. The pick that the Steelers brought in from right there in their backyard, Pitt's Panthers quarterback last year was electrifying, one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year. And they drafted him, and so the city loves him, but he is a rookie, and so they didn't want to start him.
Well, they may have to rethink their thinking because I'll tell you, that poor Trubisky he is terrible. I mean, bless his heart, I was really kind of felt bad for him. He was throwing that ball over on the sidelines, and I don't know, it was crazy.
Yeah, and the problem is the other guy sucks too. They've got Mason Rudolph is like one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen make it in the NFL, and so if you don't start the rookie, you're really kind of in a bind here. All right, let's get to it.
All righty. Well, there's a few that are iffy again this week. There always are.
It's the NFL. Houston at Chicago.
Yeah, I took Chicago.
I'm torn. These two teams stink.
I know they do. There's two or three like this, but I think Chicago maybe stinks less.
I'm going to take Houston.
Oh,
I'm going to take Houston on the road. I think they both suck to high heaven. So let's have some fun with it. I'll go counter to you, and I'll take Houston.
Okay.
Las Vegas and Tennessee both thought that they would be off to better starts. The Raiders blow a 20-0 lead last week, and they can go to hell forevermore because I gambled on them, and that cost me. And then Tennessee's terrible. Tom wanted their defense to be better, but they're not. It's just that these two teams here have gotten off to a terrible start. Who you picking?
I know it, and I love Derrick Henry, and I want him to have a good year. But I took the Raiders.
I did too. It's hard to. I mean, is Tennessee going to be 0-3? Is that right? If they lose, or did they win their first week? No, they lost. Did they lose to the Giants? So they suck.
Or the loser's 0-3.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The loser is going to go to 0-3. If Tennessee loses, they're going to go 0-3.
So that Lee Sterling trend doesn't help you because both of them are 0-2. So
Man.
you're going to go 50-50 there.
Yeah. All right. You took Las Vegas. So did I. Kansas City at Indianapolis. Another disappointing team in the way of the Colts, who have been nothing short of abysmal.
I know. Well, I took Kansas City, but what has happened to Indy? I thought preseason they were really talked up, and my Lord, they've been terrible.
Top 4 Super Bowl pick, according to Vegas, before the season began.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, well, that's just, I don't know what's happened. But anyway, I took Kansas City.
Me too. Buffalo at Miami. This actually figures to be a very entertaining game, a fun game. If you're a Miami fan, you want it to be 105 degrees when this thing kicks off, if possible. But tall task to beat the Bills.
I know it. I took the Bills. I'm on the Bills train. I do really think they're super good. Now, I think it could be really fun. And watching the Dolphins last week come back from 21 points down in the fourth quarter, I mean, I was rooting for them. But I think the Bills are too much.
I do too. Detroit's at Minnesota.
Yeah, that's another game that I really think is a coin flip. I don't know. I took Minnesota.
I took Minnesota as well. I think Detroit is – Tom and I used to play a game where we'd pick a team before the year began that we thought had a chance not to be good, but perhaps in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 wins, something like that. Detroit's that team for me. I've kind of been on them early. They rewarded me one week, but we'll see. I think they're a tough team. They've got a great running game, and that if you have that in your physical, you can make things interesting. I took Minnesota here, though, at home. It's kind of a coin flip game. I took the Vikings.
Yeah, me too.
Baltimore's at New England, Mom.
I know. I'm taking Baltimore.
I am too. Cincinnati's at the Jets.
Yeah, I took Cincinnati.
I guess.
I know.
I mean,
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you, poor Joe Burrow. He cannot stay upright. I mean, he's going to get killed if they don't protect him better because his offensive line has been terrible. What happened to them between last year and this year? I mean, did they lose people?
No, they were awful on the offensive line last year. He got sacked 9 times in a playoff game that they won against the Titans. 9 times.
Oh, my God. Well, it's a one. Bless his heart.
That's how good Joe freaking Burrow is. He took that team to the Super Bowl a year ago, and he's almost come back to win these games where they've played poorly as well. But you're right. At some point, if you're taking a beating on every snap, it is going to be a problem.
I know. I mean, I would say, listen, boys, you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with those people.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I took Cincinnati. I certainly hope that he is okay and does better. I like that Jets coach, though. I do, and I also like the Detroit coach. But anyway, I took Cincinnati.
I did too. Philadelphia's at Washington. You took Philadelphia.
I did.
New Orleans is at Carolina.
Yeah, I know. This is another one of those games that I don't like. I took New Orleans. If Jameis can throw to the right team, I tell you what, I watched that. Of course, I was happy last week, but I mean, he's got to get a hold of himself.
I'm going to take Carolina. I'm going to take Carolina to get the win here.
See there, you don't even. Okay. Let's see.
He's got a broken back.
Well, listen, he hasn't always had a broken back, and he's still through the wrong team. Oh, my Lord.
Well, yes, I know. But this past week, he had a broken back, and I don't know why they're rolling him out there. The other thing I would note is prior to that game, Mom, he'd thrown 16 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in his Saints career.
Oh,
so he hasn't been throwing to the wrong team. The Bucs defense is really good.
Oh, they are really good, and it tickles me no end.
Yeah.
Well, good Lord, they need to put that other Taysom Hill or whoever he is out there.
Well, he sucks too, though, Mom. He's not any good. He can't play quarterback.
But if Jameis has a broken back, for Lord's sake.
Well, I agree with that.
I mean, good heavens.
I'd put a real quarterback in, not Taysom Hill, and I wouldn't have him just running around looking like an idiot like he always does. But anyhow, here we go.
All right.
Jacksonville at Los Angeles. That would be the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
Me too. Los Angeles again. This would be the Rams at Arizona.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I think that could be a good game, but I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams as well. Atlanta at Seattle in a game nobody wants to watch.
Oh my God, that is a terrible battle of the birds. I took Atlanta. I don't really know why, but I did.
I'll take Seattle.
Oh, I knew. Oh gosh, this could be a good or a bad week.
Green Bay's at our Bucks.
Oh, I know. This game, I'm already nervous, and it's not even Sunday. I took the Bucks. Now, I know we are all banged up, and
half the team's not starting.
I know Tom doesn't have anybody to throw to, but I'm still taking them. Our defense is gonna really level
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
and I think it's gonna make him nervous. And anyway, I'm going with the Bucks.
I have screwed myself with the Bucks this year. I really have.
You have.
I've been a doubter, but I'll take the Bucks here in a close, hard-fought game on a field goal. I don't love the Packers, and I don't love the Bucks' chances on offense. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. I'll just go with a low-scoring, defensive-minded contest that the Bucks find a way to squeak out. San Francisco at Denver.
Yeah, I took the 49ers.
Me too. Finally, Dallas at the Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants as well, Mama. There you go.
I know. Now, we have several here. Let's see. Who have we got? You took Carolina, and I took New Orleans.
That's correct.
And you took the Texans, and I took Chicago. And then you took Seattle, and I took Atlanta. Is that the only ones we have?
Those are the three. Those are the three.
All righty. Well, I need to win them all because I'm already down one.
So we had 4 in total now that we know. But yes, you're down 1 here. You got to try to bounce back. We'll see. Love you, Mama. Thanks as always.
I do too. Love you too. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Man, my mom hardcore on James today.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was all that pent up frustration.
Well, the 30-something interception year got to her.
Well, look, man, only 18 of them were his fault. The other 12 belonged to O.J. Howard and Mike Evans.
Well, O.J. Howard just handed out footballs. Golly, that drove me nuts. But still, I mean, that was something last week. You even texted me like, oof.
Yeah, the one where we're at the sticks, and that one, the one in the back of the end zone,
He's
that doesn't,
going for a big play after a fight.
that doesn't bother me as much.
It's a good play.
But the one at the sticks for the pick six was like, oh.
And it's an awful throw too. You're like, oh my
Where are you
God,
looking?
what are you doing?
I mean, it's the professional version of Tate in the second quarter of NC State.
So, by the way, though, have we not said that has perpetually been his weakness? Not the interception ball, which is obvious to State. The left side. Whenever he looks over to the left side, you're like, oh, he doesn't see him. He's standing right there, James.
Right.
Don't throw that.
The one to Ermon Lane was to the left as well, but
You just threw it through him. You just threw it through the person, defied the laws of physics, and found a way to get a football in there. Armand didn't even know he had the ball. He's running towards the end zone. I'm like, oh, I've got the ball.
He also fumbled the ball.
He gets across the line first, though. But yes, it's the least athletic dive into the end zone I've ever seen.
And then that dude ended up being a good safety.
Yeah.
Go figure.
He did have a year where he was pretty productive.
He's
in
very
safety.
physical.
Yeah. He's also still very loyal, and I doff the cap because he's
Yes, he
forever
is. Undying.
Yeah, I love that. If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, listen up. You got a chance to save some money. My man Shannon, who's in town, by the way, this weekend, has come to the game, is very, very excited. He's, of course, Shannon with Legendary Home Loans, and he's going to be your guy as you just, it could be, nerve-wracking to get a new home, and you need to get a mortgage. You need to get a loan. You're nervous about it. This guy eases all of that discomfort. He's the best in the business, and he's a diehard Nole, and he's here in town. So if you see him walking around, start talking about houses. He'll talk to you about football. It's FSUHomeLoans.com, FSUHomeLoans.com, or give him a call today, 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN.
I like the idea of that, though.
Yeah.
If you trade a question
Yeah.
for an answer, so you say, so what do you think about the Fed and the interest rates? How's it going to impact my ability to buy a home? Well, the thing about the receiving core that I love
back and forth
is that Johnny has come full circle.
It would be great. They would probably be able to discuss both walk away very, very happy. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
So let's say you're considering buying a new home in the current climate. All heard that demand is high, inventory is low. So how do you get a leg up on the rest of the buyers all making offers on the same house as you? Oh, that's a toughie. But the first place I'd suggest you start is with a call to my friend Shannon at Legendary Home Loans. Shannon will set you up with complete pre-approval underwriting. It used to be an upgrade, but nowadays it's got to be standard. Want to get your offer on a new home pushed to the front of the line? You need a TBD full underwriting approval from Legendary Home Loans. They'll shorten or even remove your financing contingency, and the sellers will know that your offer is real and ready to go. It's tough out there these days, folks, so why not have the advantage of a proven winning team in your huddle? Get pre-approval underwriting from my friend Shannon, the one and only Legendary Home Loans. Call now, 844-FSU-LOAN, 844-FSU-LOAN, or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing one. NMLS number 2270146.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced, and while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you and thank me later.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 money tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Basic Brooks. Come back stronger with Basic Brooks.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Got a commitment from a 5-star wide receiver. You could, in honor, Tom, we should probably, it's the right thing to do, I suppose. You want to play at what them kids doing? I mean, people come in and out of the show all the time, right? They're in the car, they're out of the car, they're by their computer, they're not by their computer. Hey, we got the good news today. Fire it up. Let's do it.
Hello once again, friends. It's time for What Them Kids Doing.
Look at that jibber jabber Jeff with that kid inch. How fast does he run?
Hey, who let you in here?
Look at him. I bet he can bench a lot. What them kids doing, Jeff?
Committing to Florida State. Second one in the same week. A 4-star linebacker, now a 5-star wide receiver. The news is good if you were hoping to hear that Hakeem Williams has committed to Florida State.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. He is the highest ranked recruit in the recruiting class by a lot. And there will be very high expectations if, in fact, he arrives in Tallahassee and signs on the line, which is dotted. And that is good news. He says he's excited to be an Nole. A lot of people describe him as a player that you'll see in the National Football League. Body type-wise, I can see why he would be described that way. And he is obviously a kid that everybody wanted. It's good to hear Florida State got him. We have not been in the habit of bringing in elite 5-star type wide receivers here to Tallahassee in some time. That has been the point of much consternation, and it has been a subject, one of many, surrounding Ron Dugans and his time in Tallahassee. So good for Ron. Congratulations to Hakeem if he puts this behind him now and just plays football and is good to go with the Noles. No need to take any more phone calls. Hakeem, it's over. You did the right thing.
Yes, he did. You did the right thing. And having Peter Warwick down there is a nice way of saying perhaps this is ushering in a new era of dominance for Florida State receivers. Maybe the old and the new will be doing something 20 years down the line. And there's Peter Warwick and Hykeem Williams welcoming a new 5-star to Tallahassee. Who knows? But I have to say, for Ron Dugans, it's not just about getting a yes from a 5-star recruit and helping along a Johnny Wilson. You think about the development of a player like Deuce Spann. And I know that he wasn't available last week. I saw him in practice, and he was participating in practice on Tuesday. That dude looks so much more natural at the position now. And I know that Mike is a former receiver, so he deserves credit, but so does Ron Dugans.
Well, I'm rooting for Ron Dugans. He's one of ours. I mean, I watched Ron's entire career here. He had it got overshadowed because of the Peter Warwick catch, but the play in the Sugar Bowl against Virginia Tech, he was a huge reason we won that game as well. And so, from Ron, the player, and Ron, the Nole, and now coach, you don't want to see any of our guys have a hard time and end up losing their job. But at the same time, we've always owed it to our audience to tell the truth as we see it. And the numbers don't lie. He hasn't done a good job. He has not done a good job as a receivers coach here. And I hate having to say that. I've hated having to say it, but I've understood the rise in frustration around his job. And he was rumored to have been basically on the block this past offseason, as we are said to have offered the receiver's position to somebody else who did not take it. And it was at that point that Ron had another chance. Well, I hope he makes the most of it. I hope this is part of a ongoing storyline of redemption where he ends up making it work out and we're all happy again.
Well, good players make you look like a smarter coach. There's no doubt that that's part of it,
but
too.
That's recruiting is a big-ass deal.
It is. But the one thing I love so far, too, and there's a video on Warchant TV of Dominic Robinson breaking down some of this, the blocking across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a commitment to it. There's some times when guys get turned loose and it looks like Nyquan Murray of yesteryear. But for the most part, it's not just Johnny Wilson just driving dudes into the ground. And he did so on that second and goal play where Micah Pittman
yeah,
is.
it's hilarious, yeah.
It is. It's uncomfortable how good of a job he does at blocking. But Micah Pittman's involved in it. Malik McClain is a very good blocker. Kentron's a very good blocker. Deuce Span's trying, but he's an adequate blocker.
Yeah.
I mean, these little details, they are getting there.
Well, that is a commitment. You are right. It's a commitment to the coaching, but also each other. And it's huge that you do that because otherwise you're on the other end of that ass beating when a guy doesn't block for you. Yes, that's how it tends to work. These things are infectious. And so you're right. That does matter. Ron does get credit for that. Before we kind of segue towards the end here, I do want to take the time to point something out for anybody that can help. A friend of ours, former co-worker, and anyhow, just a great guy. Lost his son a year ago, and it's been tough, obviously. But we bring this up because they created a scholarship campaign in his honor, and it's the Giovanni Vetrano Foundation, and it's a 100 in 100 campaign. I want you to be aware of it. If you're able to help, please do.
Please.
And if you can't, I understand that too. But for those that are, this is a cause that means a lot to us and is near and dear to our hearts. So if you can help out, please do. They're launching foundation memberships. You become a member by donating $10 each month. The stated goal is 100 new foundation members in 100 days. So basically September 22nd through December 31st. 100% of your donation goes directly to Giovanni Vetrano Memorial Scholarships. So in honor of Giovanni Vetrano, who tragically lost his life, that scholarship was set up, and this funds that. 100% of the donations go directly to those Giovanni Vetrano Memorial Scholarships. And members get gift bags and gift packs, I should say, eligible for prize giveaways, free admission to foundation events and all of that. But more than any of that, again, you're helping fund a scholarship in honor of Giovanni Vetrano. If you want to know more about this, here you go. It's gvscholarship.org. Just type in gvscholarship.org.
And it's a site that'll answer all the questions. If you're wondering, what is this all about? I encourage you to go there. And if you scroll down a little bit, you will see the 3 scholarship winners this year. They're looking to expand the amount for the scholarship, but it's $5,000 last year for the top scholarship winner and then 2 additional $1,000 scholarships. It makes a difference to kids in our area, and it makes a difference to us if you help. So please join us in becoming one of those members.
All right. So I don't know how much we're going to watch, but you had to have been happy last night, right? The Phillies beat the Braves.
1-0. Apparently the Winds were whipping at Citizens Bank Park, and I'm glad about that.
You know, our sponsor for this segment, as I get to probables, is Tallulah, and I visited today, and I got to know Ashley.
Wait a minute. So you had the morning massage.
Yeah.
And did you go into the pod afterwards?
I did not do the pod. I'm doing the pod next week.
Okay.
I went into the store to learn of these wonderful products. And it's more than just the Delta 8. There's a little Delta 9, Delta 10.
There is Delta 9?
There is. And there's Delta 10, there's Delta 9. Not all the CBD stuff, guys. You don't have to, not everything has THC in it. You're not out here high as a kite just because you're walking into Tallulah getting stuff. No. We've got ways to reduce inflammation, to calm your nerves, to hyper your focus.
Not destroy your stomach lining while doing it.
Correct. A lot of good stuff. From the silliest of the silly all the way to the very necessary medical benefits. So it's all there. Plus that juice bar is for real too. I got a big old juice today, Tom, that was outstanding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of like
what'd you get in it?
A mushroom, some mushrooms.
Ooh.
They were delicious. It's all good.
Mushrooms.
Well, you can't taste the mushrooms.
Way to go, Doc Ellis.
It's like
keeping
an
it together here.
Yeah. Not those kind of mushrooms. They're not psychedelic mushrooms, man. Now, you'll know if I'm doing a show on psychedelic mushrooms. You'll be like, oh, good God, this isn't going to go well. No.
What does Waco and Dahmer have in common? All right?
Here we go. Jeff's off the rails. Cue it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
But seriously, it was great to get to know the staff there at Tallulah. I went to the Market Square one. They have 3 locations in town, and I'm learning. And as I learn, I'm going to share some of the stuff I'm learning. I'm just in the infancy stages. I'm behind the times, Tom. There's a lot of good stuff over there. Cubs, Pirates, Javier Assad and Bryce Wilson. Nationals, Marlins, Josiah Gray, TBD. Brewers, Reds, Eric Lauer, Luis Sessa. We got the Astros and the Orioles, Jose Urquidy and Dean Creamer. Braves, Phillies again, Jake Odorizzi, Aaron Nola.
All right.
Let's go.
Come on. Ring the bell.
Red Sox, Yankees, Rich Hill, Garrett Cole. Blue Jays, Rays, Mitch White, Jeffrey Springs.
Not just screwing Mitch White.
It is a requirement, right? Guardians, Rangers, Cody Morris, John Gray, Padres, Rockies, Sean Manaea, Ryan Feltner. Mariners, Royals, Marco Gonzalez, Brady Singer, Angels, Twins, Shohei Ohtani, Louis Verlander. Hard to say it. Or Verlander. Tigers, White Sox, Eduardo Rodriguez, Lucas Giolito, Mets, A's. Oh, Tommy, you better make bank this weekend, buddy.
This is the opportunity, sir.
Yeah. Chris Bassett going to be dealing against that pathetic A's lineup with Cole Irvin going on the hill for the A's.
And he'll take a while he's doing it.
Giants, D-backs, Carlos Rodon, Tommy Henry, and finally Cardinals, Dodgers. Jose Quintana, formerly of the Pittsburgh Pirates. That creep can roll, man. Andrew Haney goes for the Dodgers, and that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
It's catchy. It's very catchy.
That is. I'm so excited. I haven't, there was a time, this. I used to discover new music all the time, just constantly searching for it. But I haven't found a new band in a while that strikes my fancy in a way where you kind of sit up in your chair. Like, oh, I see what you got going on here. All right, I want more. But I discovered one this morning, and apparently I'm way behind on this. But I'll start to share it.
The Eagles?
No, that's well done. No, but there's an edge to them, and it's fun, and it sounds a little dangerous. And I'm like, all right, okay, here we go. Make me a little uncomfortable, and then kind of surprise me with something that's more melodic than the last one. And then this becomes this other thing, and this guy's lyrics are pretty badass and pretty deep. There's a lot of good stuff going on. So it's a banner day, Tom.
You're not going to name the band?
No. Oh, I'm going to finish.
Wow.
I'll tell you privately. I'm going to finish.
That's right, folks. You can't enjoy music.
You can.
You're not allowed.
You can. I will tell you, Tom, I haven't listened to the rest of the album yet. I'm not out here willy-nilly.
So they've got your attention.
They got my attention, but not stamp of approval yet. They've got my attention, though. They have grabbed me. The first 2 songs on the record are fantastic. And we're off to a good start.
Okay.
But I don't willy-nilly give you my stamp of approval on the show publicly, unless,
Well, you got 2.5 hours before the happy hour. Maybe you can finish the rest of the album, and then we're good to go.
It is definitely not Nickelback's new album, Maverick.
Maverick, did they release one? Is that real?
Yes, Tango. FSU did land Williams. Yes. No. So by Monday, I'll be able to give you my stamp of approval. I've got some housework this weekend before we start at the pregame show. By the way, today 5:30, I'll be over at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Appalachian Parkway. Myself, Corey Clark, will be having a little happy hour fun with you guys. Swing on by. It's always a good time. It's always laid back. We'll answer some questions in the chat, have some cold beer, and we'll hang out. And then on Saturday, of course, Hotel Indigo. That's where you're going to want to make your way. Pre-game show live. Myself, Tom Lang. That begins at 5 o'clock. Doors open at 4. If you want to start the day, get loose before that 8 o'clock kick. Then we've got the in-game watch-along, which is always great. Dominic Robinson back this week. And then on the post-game show, Tom and Gene get together to talk about, hopefully, another Florida State victory. A busy, busy day. You're going to stay right here. I think, is today the last day for the $1, or when is it?
Next
Soon.
week.
Yeah. $1, warchant.com. I get signed up, kids, because it's going away. Good job, Tom. Good job, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Good Noles. We'll talk to you later.